All right, so we're a few weeks into staying at our little river house here in Queensland in Australia, and whoa, holy smokes, like it is a big change from living in Bangkok. So we were in Bangkok for 10 years. It's where my mum's from. It's, you know, a big city. And I think I really took for granted how easy it was to just like walk out the door and have a whole bunch of stuff available, ingredients to buy, you know, all those sorts of things. And I really like this change because it's really made me think more about trying to use up what I already have, trying to make do with what's in my pantry, what's in my fridge, what you might find or catch here on the river as well. A little bit of a spoiler alert there. So yeah, I'm really loving the change. It's different, but I think that it's kind of changing the way I cook in a good way. So here we go. This is our pantry special episode with a little catch from the river. I love the water and the sunshine. I always have. And I really wanted to share some of that happiness with you guys. It's time to show you a little of the place where I grew up, Australia. Okay, so how do you make the most awesome pad thai when you don't have all the ingredients? Well, this video has all the answers, plus how to keep your noodles in perfect shape. So this, my friends, is the pad thai shortcut you've always dreamed of. I have done an awesome, like classic, pure classic traditional pad thai on my channel before, and a lot of you guys love that one. But this one is for when you just don't have all the stuff, and there's a lot of stuff. This one has not much stuff. All right, so let's get going on our little pantry style pad thai sauce first of all. So I'm going to use some brown sugar. Obviously the traditional sugar here would be palm sugar, but brown sugar is what I've got in my pantry, so we're using that. And now for the most controversial ingredient, tomato paste. So before you get at me in the comments down there, just hear me out. So when my mum first moved to Australia before I was born, things like tamarind, palm sugar, these were like hard things to find in Australia. So she would always add tomato paste because, and I think this is why, tamarind has a very sour flavor and a bit of a darker color, right? So the tomato paste also has a little bit of that kind of acid, also adds some umami and savory flavor. So I think there definitely is method to the madness, my friends. So try it before you knock it. In that goes. And now fish sauce. I'm sorry, there is no replacement for fish sauce. I know a lot of you guys ask me for some replacements. I have not found one that has the same kind of flavor. Look, you could try soy sauce for this, but just use a lot less because the soy is a lot more harsh. And then just some plain old white vinegar. Again, I'm trying to make up for the sourness of the tamarind here. And just give that a mix, and I just want to simmer that for like about 5 minutes until the sugar's dissolved, tomato paste is dissolved, and we're getting a slightly just thicker sauce. Now, while that sauce is bubbling away, let's take this opportunity to talk about noodles. So you guys are always telling me that you're having trouble with your rice stick noodles. They're sticking together in the pan, they're all gluggy, they're all gross, and no one likes a gross noodle. Okay, so your dried rice stick noodles will look like this, very firm. You can have thin or thick ones. These are the thin ones. You can boil them like pasta in boiling water, but that's where you can overcook them. Also, they get kind of starchy and sticky when you do that. If you take this one little extra step, you will have a much smoother ride. So soak them in some room temperature water 20 or 30 minutes before you go to boil them. And that will make all the difference, guys, I promise. It must take the starch or the stickiness out of the noodles a little bit. So I don't know, it works. Now take a look at how sort of deeply golden and sticky and lush that is. That is looking perfect. Just pour that out. And you know what, this is enough just for this batch of noodles, but you could make like a double, quadruple batch and just keep this in the fridge. It actually makes a good just general stir fry sauce as well. All right, I'll just try this, make sure we're good for seasoning. Perfect. So you can't even taste that it's tomato paste in there. It just actually tastes like tamarind, like that sour kind of acid flavor, balanced with the sweet sugar and the fish sauce. It's all salty, just perfect. All right, now we really are making do today because usually I would use some little red Asian shallots for this dish, but happen to have half a red onion kicking around in my fridge, so let's go with that. All right, so we need some eggs as well. Just give that a mix. And now we're looking pretty good to start stir frying. I'm using some chicken thigh for this one, and just a word on cutting your meat for pad thai. The meat should be an afterthought. This is really all about the noodle. So you want really small, thin slices of chicken, or if you've got prawns, just a few prawns. That's what you really need. Okay, we need some oil in the pan. All right, so before we get stir frying in the pan, just make sure you've got a pot of boiling water on the side, because we're gonna cook our noodles in that and get them straight into the frying pan. You'll see what I mean. And my red onion goes in. And the chicken. Just when that chicken is cooked, I want to pour in my eggs. And then now, just while that egg is setting, now I'm going to get my noodles in. This will literally take a minute. Less than a minute. I mean, get them in and get them out and into that pan. And now sauce on top. And toss everything together. Okay, you can see those noodles are nice and glossy. They're not sticking together. They are just perfect. Look at the color. I love the color of that sauce. Okay, now just a little bit of spring onion in there. And we are done, everyone. Just gonna pile that up onto a plate. Now, of course, roasted peanuts would be the way to go here, but again, I'm just using what's in my pantry, and what I have are salted cashews. So we're going with that. Sprinkle those on top. All right, now a little wedge of lime. For me, non-negotiable. I always love to have that little bit of extra tang and zing just before I pop those noodles in my mouth. And one more non-negotiable, because I'm me, chili flakes. So there you go, guys, a very, very simple pad thai dish. A few substitutions there because, you know, these days we're making do with what we've got at home, and I have to say, there's substitutions here, but no compromise on flavor. All right, let's have a go with that lime wedge, a little bit of chili, and have a look at those noodles. There's not a sticky, gluggy noodle in sight. We're all separate strands here. Beautiful, perfectly cooked. Well, let me see if they're perfectly cooked. I'll tell you in a minute. Just right. A little bit of bite, a little bit of kind of chewiness. And I tell you what, you would have no idea that you even, you know, substituted a lot of ingredients in that one. It just tastes like a beautiful, sweet, tangy pad thai. So good. Okay, so I feel like the Asian side, or the Bangkok side of my family and my life has been a really big part, I guess, of the cooking videos we've been doing over the last few years. But what probably we haven't shown a lot of, or any of, is where Tim and I, my husband Tim, where we spent most of our childhood. And that was here in Australia, here in Queensland. And I'm really so excited to be able to show a little bit more of that. Tim in particular is someone who grew up on the water, at the beach, and that special Queensland sunshine. And he's particularly good at catching dinner, sometimes. Well, he was this day anyway. Okay, so Tim has scored major brownie points for bringing me home a mud crab today. You can see how excited I am. Mud crabs are one of Australia's most prized seafoods, and I am just so excited I get to cook with one today. I didn't actually know that we would get a crab today, so we're gonna have to do like a pantry style chili crab, but don't worry, it's gonna be super delicious. The first thing we need to do though is prep our crab. Okay, so here we go. Crab has been in the freezer for about half an hour, just so that we can do this step a little easier. Now, always holding at the back here so you don't get pinched by one of these big guys. Look how big those guns are, amazing. Oh, I better not get too close actually. All right, so flip them over, and what we need to do is just get straight in here and bang, down, and now we're good. So now we can go ahead and clean them up and just get them into more like manageable pieces. All right, so to clean this up, what we want to do is just pull this flap right here, and then you just want to kind of wiggle and get that head off, the head shell off. Okay, so take the kind of feathery gill kind of fingery things off. And then it's a mud crab, so mud. So you want to get in there and give that a really good clean all over. I'm going to break apart the body, clean out some of that stuff in there, and then you're good to go. And then what you want to do is make some cracks in this shell. One, to get some sauce in there, two, to make it easier to eat. Okay, so just some little cracks like that. Same with this one. And I'm just using the back of my knife here, not the sharp part. Same thing on the other side, so we can do that again. Okay, now these parts, we just chop through here. And then cut through here. And then look at that, that is one good looking plate of seafood right there, like truly, really amazing. And so, just, you know, it's such a privilege to cook with this amazing crab today. I'm uber excited. All right, sauce next. And this one is really simple because, as I said, I didn't know Tim would be bringing me home a crab today. So we're gonna go with a pantry style chili crab sauce. I'm gonna start off with some tomato ketchup and some Chinese Shaoxing cooking wine. Now this one adds a really kind of nice, interesting fragrance and aroma, but I know a lot of you guys like to cook without alcohol, and if you do, just add a little bit of pineapple or apple juice just for some interest. And now I'm gonna use some Chinese black vinegar or Chen Kiang vinegar. This is like, it kind of has a little bit more roundness, a little bit more interest than a regular white vinegar. But you know what, if you've got apple cider vinegar as well, that's a really great one to use here. And some fish sauce. And now some sugar for some sweetness. So you notice I've kind of gone for a range of flavors here. I've got the savory and umami flavors coming from the tomato ketchup, and then I've got the fragrance, bit of interest with the Chinese wine, and now we've got the sweetness from the sugar, we've got that tang from the vinegar. You know, we've got it all going on here. It's a good sauce. Now I just want some water here and give it a mix. See, a really good balance of like sweet, tangy, salty, exactly what we want. Now we want to use a few fresh ingredients. So I'm going to chop up some garlic, a fair bit of garlic here. We want a good like hefty punch. And some chili. All right, so we are all set, time to get into the pan. So we just want to start off with a bit of oil, and let's get our garlic in there. Chili here. Now watch that garlic. I don't want it to burn. I just want it to soften up and get nice and sweet. And now in with the sauce. Now we just want to let that bubble away, get nice and thick and sweet and tangy and all the good things. Probably need about 5-10 minutes. All right, so this is smelling amazing. It's looking amazing. It's really nice and thick, and I'll show you how you know it's ready. So just get your wooden spoon and run your finger through there and try it, of course. That's good. But you can see it's not running through that line, so I know it's good to go. All right, time to add the crab. Just let that steam for a minute or so. And now just start to turn everything over. Just try and get those pieces coated in that luscious sauce. All right, now just pop a lid on, and I want to let that bubble away for, you know, only a few minutes, about 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, so this is smelling amazing. Let's take a look. Wow, yeah, take a look at that. So everything is a beautiful bright orange in here. That is truly looking so joyful right now. All right, time to get it out on a plate. Okay friends, now that is one glorious looking plate to me. Amazing, local, fresh as fresh. I mean, you can't get any fresher than that. Australian mud crab in my pantry style chili sauce. This is one tasting I'm gonna get so much joy out of, but it might look a little messy, so apologize in advance. All right, you know, and I'm just gonna go for the claw because the claw's the best part. Look at that. That crab meat is so incredibly sweet, and then that sauce. I mean, total heaven right now. And the sauce is like, so it's garlicky, it's a little spicy, but it really doesn't take over from the crab, because of course you don't want to do that. And oh, wow, this is so good. Sound effects. Sorry, I did tell you it wouldn't be attractive. I don't know, do I have to share with Tim? Probably, I probably have to share, don't I?